12 years old and I'm a Sickle-Cell warrior princess. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Hayley King. I'm the founder of a charity called Sienna Smile, and we support children impacted by sickle cell.
Do you have sickle-cell anemia?
No, but my daughter Sienna does.
How old and when was she diagnosed with sickle-cell?
So Sienna is now 18 and she was diagnosed when she was 3 days old. Sienna was actually born 11 weeks premature, so they were able to do a diagnosis from blood from that point.
What are her most common symptoms of the sickle-cell crisis?
Most common symptoms I would say is Sienna's eyes are yellow, and she usually gets pain in her back. Unfortunately, Sienna's literally just come out of hospital and she had a lot of pain in her chest and her shoulder.
What is the difference between sickle-cell and sickle-cell trait?
So the difference is we inherit one gene from our parents and basically one from mum and one from dad. And the difference is when you have sickle cell, you inherit one sickle gene from mum and dad. When you have a sickle cell trait, you only inherit one sickle gene either from mum and dad.
Last question. If you could change anything about sickle cell, what would it be and why?
I wish sickle cell didn't exist because it breaks my heart to see so many young people just going through so many challenges because of it.
Please like, share and subscribe to my social media platforms. Google Tayshelice, YouTube Tayshelice's Sickle Cell Journey, TikTok Tayshelice1, Instagram Tayshelice_, and Facebook Tayshelice Hewitt. Thank you for listening. Bye! Hi, my name is Tayshelice. I'm 12 years old and I'm a Sickle Cell warrior princess. Could you introduce yourself?
So my name is Ria. I am a sickle cell warrior queen and she's the princess. I have 3 children and I am 32, and I live with sickle cell thalassemia beta plus, which is a mix between sickle cell and thalassemia together.
How old were you when you were diagnosed with sickle cell anemia?
So I was 3 months old, so I'm the only person in my family that has sickle cell. My mum didn't know that she was a carrier, so they actually got the results back from my heel prick test when I was 3 months old.
Could you give me a brief description of what sickle cell is?
So sickle cell is when your red blood cells are not shaped normally like an O, they're shaped like a crescent, which means that it can't carry a lot of oxygen around your body, so it gets trapped in the blood vessels, mainly in the joints, and it can cause a lot of pain in all areas. And also it gets triggered by different weather changes and stress, anxiety. There's so much, that this is endless when it comes to sickle cell triggers.
What are your most common symptoms of the sickle cell crisis?
My most common symptoms are my menstrual cycle. So as I've grown older, my menstrual cycle always triggers my sickle in my back and my legs.
Last question is, if you could change anything about sickle cell, what would it be and why?
I would take away the pain. Obviously, I think I would change our care. So I understand that I'm born with this disease that is uncurable, but I think, can I say 2 things I would change? I think I would change the cure and then the care. I feel like people living with sickle cell, because it is only predominant in the Afro-Caribbean, I feel like we're very, very left behind, and I would love for us to have that urgent care like other illnesses do.
Please like, share and subscribe to my social media platforms. Google Tayshelice, YouTube Tayshelice's Sickle Cell Journey, TikTok Tayshelice1, Instagram Tayshelice_, and Facebook Tayshelice Hewitt. Thank you for listening. Bye! Hi, my name is Tayshelice. I'm 12 years old and I'm a Sickle Cell warrior princess. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I am an elderly sickle cell warrior, not a princess anymore.
Do you have sickle cell anemia?
I have.
How old and when were you diagnosed with sickle cell anemia?
I'm
what sickle cell is?
As far as my understanding, it is a blood disorder that impacts the red blood cells.
What are your most common symptoms of a sickle cell crisis?
For me, it's chronic pain. Are my symptoms now, because I'm getting older, it's progressive, so I'm getting retinal issues at the moment. Joint pains are normal. For me, I call it normal because that's what my experience is. And there's other issues because when you get to a lady of a particular age, other things come into play.
Last question. If you could change anything about sickle cell, what would it be and why?
That's actually a very interesting question. If I could change anything, I think at my age, I think it has made me the person that I am and made me achieve the things that I can achieve in life. So before I would say that I didn't want to have a kid. Now I'm grateful that I had that perspective. Does it make my difference?
Please like, share and subscribe to my social media platforms. Google Tayshelice, YouTube Tayshelice's Sickle Cell Journey, TikTok Tayshelice1, Instagram Tayshelice_, and Facebook Tayshelice Hewitt. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tayshelice. I'm 12 years old and I'm a sickle cell warrior journalist. Could you introduce yourself?
Elaine Tappy. 61 years old.
How old? How and when were you diagnosed with sickle cell?
I got that when I was 10. Up until 10, I was having a lot of pain. Mum could take me to the doctor, asked me to tell the doctor I was in a lot of pain, and he would just say, "Oh, I'm in pain, take paracetamol." But to cut a long story short, eventually a new doctor came to our surgery. Mum took me back to the doctor, and she recognised that I think I might be sickle cell. Tested me for sickle cell, and it was sickle cell.
Can you give me a brief description of what sickle cell is?
Sickle cell is a red blood disorder because the red blood cells are sickle shape, and the red blood cells are a very important role in our body. They transport oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. So with us, we're sickle shape, the oxygen can get into the body that it needs to, and that can cause us pain and complications, severe pain and severe complications.
What are your most common symptoms of a sickle cell crisis?
My most common symptoms are pain and fatigue.
What is the difference between sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait?
Sickle cell disease is actually sickle cell itself, which means you inherited it from both your parents. Sickle cell trait means that you carry the sickle gene, but you've inherited it from one parent. Therefore, you don't actually have sickle cell, but you are a carrier. You need to know that you're a carrier. You can choose your life partner carefully. Because two sickle cell trait people can have children and have sickle cell child. So we want to make good choices.
Last question. If you could change anything about sickle cell, what would it be and why?
One thing I would say would be knowledge, so much knowledge of sickle cell, understanding of sickle cell, care of sickle cell. I think it's important. Yeah, there's just so much, so we can change, and we can stay as well as we can, and people can understand what we're going through and support us.
Please like, share and subscribe to my social media platforms. Google.
Hi, my name is Tayshelice. I am a health system advisor and I'm also a person with So I was diagnosed at 9 years old actually, quite late. diagnosed at 9 years old. I fainted in school and rushed to hospital and sent me the blood tests. So yeah, prior to that I didn't know, but I had symptoms. There was investigations, but it wasn't spotted until 9 years old. So sickle cell is a genetic blood disorder affecting the red blood cells. They are usually a crescent shape, like a banana shape, and get stuck in the blood vessels and cause blockages and cause complications. So I think scientifically that's what sickle cell is on paper, but it comes with a lot more.
What are the most common symptoms of a sickle cell patient?
So my most common symptoms for me is necrosis, is like the pain, really, excruciating pain, the tiredness, the fatigue. But in necrosis, it's just weeks of pain.
What is the difference between sickle cell disease and
Sickle cell disease, that's when a person has the full disorder, so they carry both SS genes. And with the trait, you just carry one of the S genes, which is either AS, or it could be a C if we're going to go complicated, but yeah, technically with the actual disease itself, disorder itself, you carry one full genotype. With the traits, when two people come together with the traits, there's a 1 in 4 chance that every single child they have could possibly have sickle cell. So that's the difference.
last question? If you could change anything about sickle cell, what would you make
I mean, there's a lot of changes that I think need to happen. It's very, very, where do I even start? A lot of my work is in policy, infrastructure, and clinical pathways. I believe that the first point of contact isn't A&E if you have a crisis. So I think I'd like to see a change when it comes to attitudes and behaviours. That's simple. There's so much to cover, but I think mainly when you go into that primary care institutional establishment, I think changes there. And also with sickle cell itself, I wish it would just be eradicated. And I wish that more people knew their genotype, and I wish that there's more education around it. There's a lot to change. I'd love to just remove it completely, but unfortunately it's not here. But I think